Hey, I'm telling you, I'm excited. I'm down here at Pet Care, and anytime I come down here, they should call it Fish Care because you do all kinds of pets here. This is Kevin here with me. But today we want to teach people how simple it is to set up a fish tank. I mean, for kids or adults, anybody.
It's very simple. The manufacturers have really taken the guesswork out of it and make it really idiot-proof for you.
Yeah, and when you talk about that, you got kits, so you buy the whole kit and take it with you, and you're pretty much prepared to set it up. Let's talk about this, what we have. A 10-gallon tank here?
Yeah, 10-gallon tank. That's the most common size. Very simple, low maintenance. When you start off, obviously all you have is a tank. It's a glass of water. You're going to put the gravel in. Clean the gravel first, of course.
Now, when you say that, you got the different types of gravel here, depending on what color you want. I guess that's what it doesn't matter what kind of gravel.
Boy and girl, they have different colors. If you want to go to natural, they have that. Really, sky's the limit as far as how you want to do it. Whether you want to do like I said, a natural tank with driftwood and that sort of thing, or like a kid-style thing with some figurines.
And then when you get the tank here, what I love about it, the filter system is so simple today. I mean, I watch you take it out of a box and set it on there.
That's right. Yeah, it really is plug and play. I mean, other than snapping a few things on, but it's very simple. Once you fill it, you have to put water in there when you plug it in, and that'll get it primed, and it circulates through. You just have cartridge you change once a month, and then all the manufacturers have what they call a biological component of it. The idea is when you start off a fish tank, you do not have any bacteria. It's all just a glass of water. So when you put a fish in there and they start getting stressed or going to the bathroom and that sort of thing, it will create an ammonia. Ammonia is toxic to fish. It turns the tank cloudy. Most of your hardest times with the fish tank is in the beginning. But now they have live bacteria in a bottle. Very simple. So when you add the fish, well actually, if you use tap water, they have a chemical that takes the chlorine and stuff out of the water, makes it safe for the fish. But there's no bacterias. A beneficial bacteria. It's a good thing. It's going to break the waste down for you and make it safe for the fish.
Yeah, and then when you talk about it, because it's all in the bottle, I mean, and instructions on there, depending, I guess, now once you get it in there, because, each tank, I guess, how many fish do you want to put in there? What is a 10-gallon tank like this?
What you want to do is start with just a couple to, test it out. You want to put the bacteria in when you put the fish in, because that's going to the bacteria is eating stuff off of the fish, well, the fish is producing. So you don't want to put it in there and then wait, because then it's going to die off. There's a nitrogen cycle. We don't have to get in too deep onto it, but basically it's just like a compost pile. So the more fish you have in there, the more bacteria needs to be able to handle it.
Right, right. And that comes on the bottle. I mean, that explains it all to you.
Tells you how to do it.
Yeah, it tells you how to do it. It's so simple, and it's all for you at Pet Care once again. Now, is this the bacteria stuff that we're talking?
This is when you put it in there, when you first fill it up, put the chlorine in there, or it takes the chlorine out. This gets the water safe for the fish. Then once you put the fish in there, you want to use the bacteria, and it's literally live bacteria in there. What that's going to do is it's going to grow on the filter. The biological filter will pick it up, and it starts to grow on it. And once you get that culture going, and then you leave your fish in there the first few weeks and make sure all is well. Most fish stores, I know we do here, will test your water for you. So if there's any issues, you can come back and ask us. We'll test your water, because that's the biggest thing. Because the fish are living in there, so if it's filthy or something,
right.
Yes.
And then I see you got a heater that goes in there because you want the water to stay a certain temperature, I guess.
That's right. Yep. 76 is the most common.
And then the food, and then what kind of foods do I use?
The food is like self-explanatory. All of it has exactly whatever fish you have. All the bottles have it on there. So
in other words, and I want to be sure I got this right. I take this, I fill it up with water, okay? Then I kill the chlorine in the water and take that, and then I put the fish in along with this here, which is going to kill the bacteria and let it build up on this. Now, you talked about changing this filter once a month. Do I change this one at all?
This you leave be. Let it be as long as it's spinning. You leave it as dirty as you want. The reason why you switch this out, now if it starts getting clogged, you can switch it out earlier than that. But the carbon inside is only good for a month. After that, the carbon's not doing anything anymore. And the carbon is important because it does polish the water, and it'll take the smell out. So anytime, even if you have a fish tank at home already and you think it has a smell to it, then just put more carbon in it, and that'll
Take it away. So that's basically just taking the smell out of the water, and this is, of course, is helping the fish, taking the bacteria out and everything, catching all that, and accumulating on that. Exactly. It is so simple. I remember in the old days, because you put it in there, you got to put the pump down inside of it and all that, and a little thing coming out of it, and all, it's not like that anymore. And this, I love this because this actually creates a waterfall type of deal when it's going through.
Which actually is very important, because when you fill up your tank, you don't want to fill it too high where it's the water skipping across. You have to have the water surface being broken. So whether you have an air pump in there that's blowing bubbles, or you have it low enough so, like he was saying, it has that waterfall thing, because when the water surface is broken by bubbles and such, it's releasing gases out of it and putting oxygen into it, which obviously fish need.
Yeah, and so it's so simple, and then you got your different telos, gravels, and all that. I want to take a step backwards here, because you come into this, and you've got it depends on what you want to do with your fish tank. You got so many different types of accessories to dress it up. I see you got some things for the little girls there, some turtles for the Ninja Turtles, but you've got shelves and shelves of, depending on what you want your fish tank to look like.
Yeah, you dress it up. I mean, sky's the limit, however you want to do it.
And then the fish, I mean, what would you suggest be a good starter fish?
The best, I mean, there's smaller aquariums you can get. We call them desktop aquariums. Very simple. The beta is the best way to go. But there's also tetras. Probably your best bet, because they're hardy. They don't really need a heater, as long as it's you're at regular room temperature.
Yeah, so you get used to the fish, and you experiment. I mean, and the nice thing about it is we're talking about freshwater, so it's not that hard to take care of it all. You can find it here at Pet Care, and the main thing is you can find Kevin here. He's here all the time, and you answer questions, and it doesn't matter, fish, whatever kind of pet, you guys can handle it for them.
That's right, yeah. And then with fish, obviously there's a ton of things that you can do with it, but also if your water is if it's cloudy, we have stuff for that. Your fish is acting funny, we got tons of different medications and antibiotics for them. Yeah, I mean, it's
go to the expert. And when you're talking about fish, there's certain things you got to do when you put them into the tank.
That's right. So when you get your tank, you set it up, you get it running. You don't want to get the fish the same time that you got your tank. You want to get the tank set up next day. Everything's running smooth. Get the heat up in the water and all, and then come pick out your fish. Don't go get a lot of them the first time. Just get a couple of them and go slow. Add them slowly, as they go. Then when you get home, you're just gonna take the bag and just drop it in the tank. And you're gonna leave it like that for about 15 minutes. After that, all you do is you pop the rubber band. A good thing to do is, now typically speaking, no matter where you get your fish from, whether your friend gave it to you, whether it's from a pet store, if you have a fish that's a healthy fish when you got it, and you wake up the next morning and it's belly up, 9 times out of 10, other than another fish beating on it, they call it pH shock. pH from 6.5 to 7.5, even higher up to 8. So if you go from one pH and put it into a higher pH, or vice versa, your fish just can't handle it. So what you want to do is you pop the rubber band, you roll it down, and then you put water into the bag from your tank. And then you can leave it sit just like that. Wait another 15 minutes or so. Just watch that your filter doesn't blow into it. If you have a hood, you can kind of make it so the hood keeps it, but you want to leave it open so they can get air. And that's it. Just do that. Maybe put some water in there, wait 10 minutes, maybe do it again, and then release it. Now, the other thing is, you do not want to put the bag water, into your tank. There's nothing good about it. This fish has been stressing and, going to the bathroom and all that stuff in there. So that water is kind of nasty. So what you usually want to do is pour it into a net, have like a bucket underneath, and it's easier to have 2 people, one person hold a net, the other one just pour it right into the net. Water goes in a bucket, and then
accumulating the fish to the tank. That's pretty simple. And Kevin and the folks here at Pet Care can help you with all that and everything else. That's what it's all about. And you're going to find the expert Kevin here at Pet Care. So many things here at Pet Care. You got all kinds of foods and all that. But today we talked about fish. We're getting a little bit more detail about different ones. We're going to try to show you different things that Pet Care does on a regular basis. Kevin, tell the folks to come down here and visit you.
Come on down. We're here.